Can you see me? Can you hear me? Good morning. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Yeah, some of you are saying there was no sound. I had it switched off because we were messing around. But there was a squirrel here, so I just wanted to go live. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Yes, you can see me and hear me. Fantastic. Okay, well, good morning. It is -14 here in northern Sweden. And it is Squirrel Appreciation Day, so hopefully we'll see some squirrels. Hello. Yeah, we have sound. That's good. So I was supposed to be in the forest this morning, but our car battery wouldn't start, and these live streams are possible with a battery bank, because if I didn't have it, then the laptop would die, basically. So I've got it constantly connected with electricity because it's cold, and laptops just don't work in the cold. Everything else works. Camera's fine, but the laptop dies. So there is a squirrel. I think it's just listening to me. So anyway, so our car battery wouldn't work, and because of that I couldn't bring the battery bank because it's too heavy to carry, so we have to drive the battery bank in order for the laptop to work. And squirrel. Right, let's change camera. Okay, so this is a female red squirrel, and it seems like she's got a bit of a scratch now around her eye. Okay, I've not been able to catch up on the chat, so hopefully I didn't miss anything. I'm just going to have a quick look now. I can see my laptop is really struggling, so okay. Hello, good morning from Thailand. Why don't we start from saying hello and where we're from? Let's see, Belgium, Paris. Anyone from America or Australia? Oh, I can see another squirrel coming, so that's good news. But it's nice we've got one on show. How do you tell the difference between males and females? So there's no actual scientific evidence of this. This is more of my observation. Oh, going off. That's the issue of hazelnuts. They just want to go up. So I find that females are a bit more orange. They're a bit bigger. And then the males are like a silver blue or like a dark grey. But I wouldn't be able to tell the difference with like a British red squirrel because they're both quite red. And also currently it's the mating season, which is depending on where you are between December and February. January is like usually the peak. But second squirrel is coming. And you can kind of see when it's the mating season who's who, so it's quite easy during these times. And also during the summer you can see the females because they're lactating. Okay. Hi Ikore. A cooler day in Western Australia, only 27 Celsius. Well, it's minus 14, I think, right now. And I was getting really worried that it was going to be minus 25, because when I checked last week at the forecast, and I knew today was going to be Squirrel Appreciation Day, I could see it was going to be extremely cold. So I'm glad it's minus 13. That's quite good. Does it say Kviton receipts? Yes, it does. My neighbour actually set up that little box. I've got two. I can show you the feeding station. Let me just sort out the camera. To my right, you can't see. Yeah, to my right, I've got my camera on a tripod, and then it's connected to my laptop, so I can change the view instead of it being me to the camera. But let me show you the feeding station. So this is what we've built. So it's got a little roof and they can sit there. On the actual tray, I guess, there is sunflower seeds. So there will be birds coming back and forth. And then that box is just for the squirrels because other birds can't open it. So yeah, basically the birds can open... Sorry, the squirrels can open that Kviton box. And then to the left, there's another box. So we could have two squirrels at the same time. And this is the wide view. Oh, it's not that wide. Okay. Oh, there's a great tit. Let's see if I can focus on it. There's an annoying branch right in front. Great spotted woodpecker just flew over. It's a bit annoying. I don't get a time next to the comments, so I can't see. Okay, now I'm catching up on comments. Germany, Australia, Cambridge, Belgium, Russia, London, lots and lots of places. Spain, Switzerland, Latvia. If you have any questions relating to red squirrels or squirrels, you can put them into the comments. I can hear, I think, 3 squirrels. I can hear one eating a hazelnut, or trying to eat one. The reason we were a bit delayed starting the live stream was actually because as soon as we opened the house, well, as soon as we got up and we saw outside, there were 3 roe deer in the garden, and we have hardly seen them this winter, the roe deer, so I didn't want to scare them, so we waited. Oh, I can see 2 chasing. Okay, they're coming this way. Good. There's a female and a male. It's quite quiet in terms of bird activity. Maybe it's a bit early. Okay, right, I'm just going to quickly catch up on comments. Oh, howdy from Japan. Is that a squirrel? Yes. Okay, we're going to change camera. Where are you, squirrel? Oh. Hiding behind the tree. Where are you? There we go. Coming. Oh, it's a different squirrel. Oh, bird's alarm called. Oh, we have a jay. Okay, this is great because I can catch up on the comments. Okay, there's a question about red squirrels and grey squirrels in the UK, which I'll answer. Oh, hang on. This squirrel's a bit nervous. Oh, it's come back. Oh, Pontus, super chat. Thank you very much. I don't know how delayed I am with comments coming up. Do you have any tips of what food I should feed with? So this squirrel currently is eating sunflower seeds, and they seem to love it because it's a quick, high quality food. But sunflower seeds are low in calcium, so they can be a bit of an issue. So I always, I don't just have sunflower seeds. So the squirrels will also eat hazelnuts, walnuts, almonds, and I'll buy those shelled. I also buy unshelled hazelnuts, but some of the squirrels are quite fussy with them because once they've been opened, they're dry and they don't like to eat them. This is a very pretty squirrel. Can you talk about the trip you're planning with 12 people? I can. I have just returned from my squirrel forest here in Austria. I have 7 feeding stations. Wow. Okay, it seems like I have caught up on the chat. Do these squirrels know you and your voice? They look so comfortable. So I'm currently about 10 meters from my house in a patch of woodland, basically next to the house. So these squirrels I visit pretty much every day if I can. So they're pretty used to me. And these ones live in the village rather than the Squirrel Forest, which is in the forest. So generally these squirrels are quite... Did you eat something funny, squirrel? Generally these squirrels are used to people. Oh, another squirrel's coming. A third squirrel, yay. Oh. I'm actually surprised how relaxed the squirrels are because I've never really spoken out loud here. Okay, so there's a second squirrel coming who is a bit upset by me. Okay, so I will quickly talk about red squirrels and grey squirrels in the UK because that was a question. So 100 years ago... Oh. You're alright, you can come back. Now you're being fussy. Okay, I'll show you me for a moment. Red squirrels are our native squirrel in the UK, and we had an introduction of grey squirrels, I think over 100 years ago now. Oh, they're chasing each other. Can you hear that? I don't know how good the sound is. Trying to focus on filming myself and the camera, as well as answer questions and read the chat box, is a lot to do, so I'll get back with questions. Hang on. Right, we've got another squirrel. Let me change camera. Okay, let's focus on her, since she's so relaxed. Oh, the other squirrel's left. Okay, so I'm going to do a very brief history. Grey squirrels were introduced about, over 100 years ago. Introduced as pets from America. And some of those pets escaped to the wild. And for a long time it wasn't a problem until you started to get big populations. And they started to breed, and basically when it was too late, it was discovered that grey squirrels they have, some of them can spread squirrel pox. They've done recent studies and they've discovered that not all grey squirrels have squirrel pox, but basically grey squirrels are a bit bigger. Red squirrels around 300 grams, grey squirrels are roughly 500 grams, so they have that competitive advantage. Grey squirrels can also eat some of the food unripe, whilst red squirrels can only eat them ripe. So acorns, for example, grey squirrels can eat when they're grey. Oh, sorry, when they're green, and red squirrels can only eat them when they're ripe. So they can eat more food, or they're more... I always see grey squirrels as a bit more flexible with what they can eat. They're not as fussy as red squirrels. But that actually puts red squirrels a bit of an advantage because they're smaller. They have co-evolved with predators like pine martens, so they can get to the edges of the branches and escape pine martens, whilst grey squirrels can't because they are that heavier. And also red squirrels can survive on basically the seeds of pine and spruce cones, which grey squirrels need more of a varied diet to be able to survive on a food like that. So that was a quick run through, I think. Oh, there's two squirrels on my left. Curiously, it's a girl chasing a boy rather than a boy chasing a girl. So we've got 3 squirrels, which is good. Right. Let's have a little... Hi from Vasterbottom. Hi. I'm connected to the TV to watch your channel. Oh, that sounds good. Are you going to be able to purchase the threatened Squirrel Forest? Yes. So that's been a bit of a long story, which I won't go into completely now. But we weren't sure on the price, and so the next stage is to get someone professional to value the forest, because so far the fees we've talked about, or the price we've talked about, is just based on like thoughts, like with what's going on with other forests around here. So it's not an actual accurate evaluation. So I have contacted 3, and I'm hoping to get someone to come to the forest in a few weeks, because some of the trees are apparently some of the trees are too big to be cut down by the machines, so they're too big to go in the mill. And that makes total sense, because that's why the squirrels live in that forest, because the trees are a bit older, they're more developed, and they've actually got a food source, whilst most of the young trees haven't produced pine or spruce cones yet. And the squirrel you're watching right now is in a patch of woodlands that is owned by the community, so they can't chop these trees, and they also are old, and they have pine and spruce cones. So it is actually crazy. Like, if you go into some of the plantations or the forests that look like a forest, they're actually too young to support red squirrels. Super chat from Elsa Marie. Thank you. Watching from South Africa. Wow. What time is it for you? Okay. Do squirrels hibernate? Squirrels don't hibernate. I don't know if there are any species that do hibernate. These 2 squirrels to my left are hilarious. They're trying to work out a route to get to the feeders without going down the trees that the feeding stations are on. So they're like trying to go behind me and around. Oh, they've gone to the other side of the woodland now. Anyway, what was I answering? Oh yeah, whether squirrels hibernate. Squirrels remain active throughout the winter because they do have access to pine and spruce cones, so they can survive, but their activity is greatly reduced. So in January, December time, the red squirrels will only be active for maybe an hour a day. Sometimes they're more active, but a maximum of 4 hours a day of activity, because it's too cold, and they only need a bit to keep them going, because in the autumn their body weight will increase. I think if I remember correctly, it's 30%. So they put on an extra 30% of like autumn fat reserves, and so that basically helps them survive winter. And they will also have cached food, so they will, I mean, I saw this and it's fascinating, but they will put mushrooms onto branches and dry them out, and then they'll find them over winter. They'll also cache pine and spruce cones if they're low in supply, or there's not been a good year in cones. So they will like stuff them into a branch, and a lot of them, they do remember where they are, but the fact that they don't remember all of the cached food, or where the location of the cached food, is actually an ecological advantage, because those cached pine or spruce cones will then become, hopefully, trees. So they've got an ecological role in seed dispersal. But saying that, with all that said, 2 weeks ago, it was minus 37 for around 2 days, and I didn't see a single squirrel. And I'd read that if it's extremely cold, they basically don't get up and they sleep. So it's not quite hibernation, it's just a lot of sleeping to avoid the cold. But I thought that was quite fascinating. Oh, it is getting chilly. I have a coffee next to me in a flask, so I might have a sip. What kind of nests? So squirrels live in a nest-like structure called a dray, and it will consist of sticks on the outside, and then inside they will have lots of lichen and moss. And what I've discovered this summer is each time they go to the dray, they will take a little bit extra lichen to line the inside of the dray. So that's how they prepare it for winter. So every day they're constantly maintaining it a little bit. This is a very happy, relaxed squirrel. Loving your squirrel calendar on the kitchen wall. Awesome. What is the white thing screwed on the tree? We had a like a surveillance camera to monitor the squirrels when we left Sweden, but there was a big blizzard, and a branch fell onto the cable and basically broke the camera. So we've not had a camera here for a few months, but we used to have a camera to monitor the squirrels. Oh my goodness, my laptop is so cold, it hurts to touch it, to scroll. Okay, YouTube is amazing for bringing people and squirrels around the world together. Yes, it is. Don't you freeze in the cold? A little bit, but you sort of like, I don't know, get used to it and you just like freeze a bit. I never really understood this concept because Connie, who I'm sure some of you know who is. I'm not going to explain who it is. But he's Swedish, and he always says, oh, it's fine, you just freeze. And I was just like, what? But when you freeze a bit, you just basically don't react to the cold as much until you come inside, or until it gets, I don't know, maybe you've been sitting for hours and then you get cold. But yeah, I'm cold, not to the point I'm shivering, but I'm cold. Do you feed the squirrels with some kind of fat? No, not really. I mean, I put the fat balls for the birds, and sometimes the squirrels will eat it, but I don't specifically give them any fat. Peanuts are very high in fat, and I thought the squirrels would like them, but they don't touch them in the winter for some reason. Do red squirrels change their colour of their fur for winter? Yes, so this squirrel here you can see has a silver coat, which is just a winter coat, and the arms, tail and face still remains quite red. This is actually quite a unique squirrel because this is the most red squirrel I have seen this winter. So it's quite interesting that this one is here, because most of the other squirrels, their face, their arms, even their tail becomes very silver, and this one's remained quite red. Who plays the clawhammer banjo? I'm learning. I haven't played the banjo in maybe 6 months, but that is mine. Where are the other videos from Rue? I still have 3 episodes to release from the series, and I was hoping to get one up today, but it's not ready. So maybe tomorrow or Tuesday I'll have it ready. And this episode is about his first release to the wild, and it doesn't go quite to plan. Oh, lots of questions about Rue now. I'm catching up. I've had several questions about the gender, so I'll just explain that again. I personally have discovered that females are a bit more orange and males are a bit more of a blue silver, and they're a bit smaller. So once you really get to know the squirrels in your area, I find it quite easy to be like, oh, that's that one, or like it's not just a case of telling them apart by gender, but actually by individuals. This squirrel, I have no idea who it is, and it's quite chill, so it knows me. But I don't remember which one this is. Well, it's not that I don't remember, it's more that in the summer it had a different coat. I didn't see the transition because I wasn't here, and now I can't recognise it. But it knows me. What are the duties of a male squirrel? Do they also provide and take care of the little ones? No. They don't. They're not involved whatsoever. So it's just the females who care for the offspring. So they have a very relaxed summer. They don't do anything. They just eat. Do you have a name for the squirrel? I don't. Maybe we can name it, but then if it transitions from its winter coat to its summer coat, and then I'm like, oh, that's that squirrel, then it will have two names. But we can name it. Okay, now I'm shivering a little bit, but I'm okay. When it gets really cold, your face starts to, I don't know, just become quite numb, and it's difficult to talk. Okay, let's see. What kind of red squirrel predators are there in Sweden? Have you seen them being predated? In the village, we have domestic cats. I've seen a cat take a squirrel twice. Once I chased the cat and it dropped the squirrel. The other time the squirrel escaped. So maybe not the adult squirrels, but young squirrels will definitely get predated by like pet cats. And there's probably about 10 pet cats in our village. I've seen 2 in the Squirrel Forest, so I'm sure they've taken a squirrel. And even this summer, actually, I was called by a squirrel rehabilitator to go and look for a baby squirrel that had been attacked by a cat. But by the time I'd arrived, the baby squirrel had already died. Something people don't know is that the saliva of cats is toxic to squirrels. I have seen videos of squirrels living with cats, and I think it's fine as long as the squirrel isn't like there's no contamination of saliva. And maybe some squirrels are more immune to it, I'm not sure. But the saliva has some toxic properties that can impact squirrels. Maybe it's just baby squirrels that it can impact. I'm not entirely sure. But yes, we will talk about predators. So in the mountains where there aren't people, you'll get eagles and goshawks predating on squirrels. Maybe a fox. But the foxes, I feel like, wouldn't really see squirrels on the ground, and the squirrels are more, they come to the ground quite often in the village. I mean, squirrels do use the ground a lot, but just less so in the forest. But actually, recently I have seen a goshawk a lot, and I'm sure he's attempted to take the squirrels. He may have taken one of the squirrels and I've not realised. Oh, are we taking a hazelnut and leaving? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. It's been nice. This squirrel has just sat there for a while. Oh no, it's leaving. Okay. You can look at me for a bit. Ugh. Right. Yeah, so I was talking about goshawks. Yeah, so I've seen a goshawk. Maybe it's taken one of my squirrels and I've not realised. I'm sure I'm a bit slow on the chat. I'm using a different software to do this live stream, so I can't put the time of your comments. So you may have commented like 10 minutes ago and I'm only just getting around to them. Okay. Should we feed grey squirrels in the UK or discourage? Oh, we've got a different squirrel now. Hang on. Oh no, it is the same squirrel. Okay, ignore me. Same squirrel. Feeding grey squirrels is a tricky question. Obviously, if you're in a London park and you're miles and miles away from a red squirrel, then, you know, you're not really going to be impacting red squirrels that much feeding a grey squirrel in London. But if you're near the sort of area where red squirrels and grey squirrels cross over, it's probably best not to feed the squirrels at all, just because it is the feeding stations that squirrel pox is most likely to get spread. I have seen someone make a feeding station or a feeder where grey squirrels can enter and grey squirrels can't, because red squirrels are 200 grams lighter. The feeder only opens for red squirrels, so that is a good option. But you will get grey squirrels just, you know, they'll be around that feeder because they know that there's food there. So there will be contact between red squirrels and grey squirrels. So, I don't know. We need to raise a daniconnorwild heating fund. Okay, I find it very interesting how they survive the hard conditions. Here, many deer died during the weather with around -5 and hard wind. I actually did find a roe deer that had died during the -37 temperatures. And there will be a video about the extreme temperatures. Actually, this is a good moment for me to ask you a question. Do you mind if I share some other videos in between the Roo series, or would you prefer me to just get all the Roo videos out together, like every week or I'll try every week and then post other videos? Or is it okay if I post some other videos between? So you can answer that, and that'll be very useful. So if a red squirrel did pass away from the cold, it would be very difficult for me to know because they would have died in the drays. So far, of the squirrels near my house, just today I've seen 3 out of 4 that I'm expecting to see. And I haven't been to the Squirrel Forest in about a week, so can you make a video about camera settings for squirrel photography? Not squirrel settings. So it depends on where I am and what I'm doing. If I'm in the forest, I will have around 1/400th of a second with f2.8 and ISO probably around 2000 because the forest is quite dark. If I'm trying to photograph squirrels jumping, or running, then I'll go to maybe around 2 to 4,000th of a second, and my shutter speed will probably be a bit, my ISO will probably be a bit higher if I'm in the forest, or if I'm out in the open where there's good light, then I will be a bit lower. Ooh, okay, so my left leg has gone very numb, and I'm going to awkwardly try and straighten it and not scare the squirrel. Okay, don't worry, squirrel. I'll just be numb. Oh, no, come back. It's all right. It's leaving. Well, that was my fault for trying to stretch my leg. Okay, so I'm going to move my leg. Oh, there we go. Okay. Go back inside where it's nice and warm. I should just stop talking for a moment and have a sip of hot coffee. Is it okay to feed squirrels almonds? Yes, but like they only, I think it's only safe for them to have 1 or 2, and make sure when you're buying almonds to go for sweet almonds, not bitter almonds, because they can't eat bitter almonds. They're I don't know if they're slightly poisonous or toxic. I don't remember. It would be. Yeah, they can't have bitter almonds. If you buy the shelled almonds, then that's fine. Yeah, the squirrel's leaving. I can see it jumping. There are 2 squirrels around that haven't visited the feeding station, so we might have more. Almonds are definitely toxic. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Are there grey squirrels in Sweden? No. Europe is quite lucky. It doesn't have many grey squirrels. I think there's some in Italy, some in France. Yeah, maybe someone can answer if they have grey squirrels in Europe. I love watching squirrels. I have an all-white one near me, not an albino. Doesn't have red eyes. That's cool. There was an I'd love to photograph an albino red squirrel. There was one in Ireland, apparently, but it got hit by a car, because they have quite poor eyesight when they're albino. And there was another one in northern Finland, and I don't know what happened to that one. Sniffle, sniffle. Yeah, I'm sniffling. I don't have a tissue. Get Allru, we're rooting for him. Mixed is good. What time is sunrise and sunset? Do I have my phone? Shit. I can tell you exactly. Let me see. So it's -13 right now. Sunrise is 8:57. Sunset is 2:44. That's crazy, because only a month ago it was like 1:30. So I think each day we're getting like 6 minutes extra light a day. Or it might be more than that. It's crazy how light it's getting. Variety is good. Yes, you can post other videos. Other videos, okay. I'm here for some variety. Okay, cool. Is this the first live stream? Some of you may have remembered that I was doing live streams last winter, and I was doing them like every Saturday, I think. We were doing them. Yeah, I think it was every Saturday. The reason I haven't done live streams this year is we don't have any squirrels in front of our house. There's the house. Can you see it behind me? We don't have any squirrels. Maybe one a week. And before we were having like 7 coming to the garden, so I could do the live stream from inside the house. I could be warm, the laptop is warm, no battery bank, and just basically shoot from the window. And it would mean I could like talk as loud as I want or move as loud as much as I want, and it wouldn't scare the squirrels. But yeah, there's no squirrels, so that's why I'm outside. How many teeth do squirrels have? I have no idea. I don't know the... You know, actually, quite interestingly, a few months ago we found a squirrel skull. Here, actually, literally about 3 meters from where I'm sat, we found a red squirrel skull, which is quite cool. The cool thing about squirrels, or all rodents, is their front teeth and their bottom are constantly growing. So they need to gnaw on things and trim them down. I'm anxious to know Rue's fate. Okay, I'm going to give a slight spoiler. The end of the story is good. Okay? There's a lot of drama in this episode, but Rue... Yeah, I'm not going to say more. You have a fantastic eye for cinematography and storytelling. Any video you share will be welcome and enjoyed. Thank you, Christopher. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly like go through these. Okay. Can grey and red squirrels interbreed? I've never heard of that, so I think the answer is no. Okay, why don't you show your pictures in the videos you took with your camera anymore? In the Rue series, I didn't take any photos of him, really. I just concentrated on the video. In the upcoming episodes, there will be previews of the photos I took of him. I did set up a little photo shoot on the kitchen table, and I spread out some lichen, and he sat there for about 10 seconds, and I got maybe 3 photos. So I do have some cute baby photos, but I shoot in high resolution 4K with the idea that if there was an image I really liked, I could just take a screenshot, or I could just take a frame from the video. Oh, I should have been caught up on the comments because you guys are helping me with answers. So thanks. Do you remember when we tried to find the albino squirrel in the garden centre? Daniel and Ailish? Yes, I do. I have actually photographed an albino grey squirrel. There were 2 in a park near me in London. And within, like, they must have been young. Like, maybe 6 months old. Because it was late, it was autumn. And they must have just started to get active and started to, like, explore other areas. And it was really sad because within a few weeks, both of them got hit by cars. They just have really poor vision. Okay, we have lots of comments. Okay, we've answered that. Another Brit living in Sweden. Hello, Joe. Okay, love your jacket. You know, I get a lot of hate about this jacket. People think this is real fur. This is plastic. The lining of my jacket is plastic bottles, recycled plastic bottles. It's not real fur. Okay. Apparently squirrels have 20 teeth. 20 teeth, says Google. Right, okay. Mark Henderson, white without White squirrels without red eyes is leucistic rather than albino. Not all pigmentation is lost in this genetic abnormality, so eyes are not red. Yeah. You can hear the wings of a great spotted woodpecker. Sometimes the woodpeckers and jays come right in front. Is that it? I can't even see or hear another squirrel. How cold is it? It's minus 13 Celsius or minus 14. Did you expect Rue to be such a handful and demand so much of your time? Yes, I knew that from the start. But also I think I was very attentive with him because I wanted survival to be the only option, basically, because you can't have pet squirrels in Sweden. It's not allowed, and you know, my internal gut was he had to make it to be wild. Captivity was never an option, so he was a handful for that reason. So, you know, squirrels can get a lot of problems in captivity. If I remember correctly, it's called odontoma, which is where they have a fall or they chew wiring or they chew something they're not supposed to chew, and it basically means that their teeth start growing in the wrong direction or an incorrect angle. And there are captive squirrels in America that have to go for surgery every few months to heal this, because the teeth are constantly growing, and if they're growing in the wrong angle and they can't, like, they don't, I don't know how to explain this, they don't touch properly the top and bottom, so they can't chew and eat properly. And yeah, that's not good. Squirrels in captivity can also get metabolic bone disease because of a calcium deficiency, and I've seen some horrible videos online where, you know, you have a young squirrel, only a few months old, that hasn't had a proper diet, and the back legs are completely sort of disabled. There was one video I saw where they were trying to encourage some movement in the back legs of the baby squirrel by getting it to swim in a warm bath. So I was very attentive with, it's like, if anything was wrong with him, I was researching, like, is the wound on his nose going to impact him? How do I avoid all these different issues that he could have? So yeah, in my mind, the only success story was a release to the wild. So that's what I was always aiming for. Okay. Oh, can you hear that? That's a squirrel. Where is it? Can't see it. I should have put heat pads in my boots, then I wouldn't have freezing toes. Any chance we'll hear some squirrels in Dune 2? No. No, they didn't get in contact with me about Dune 2. I'm hoping it's just because the mouse isn't going to be much in the film, or in the film at all. And maybe the next film they're going to want some squirrel sounds. Maybe. Oh, there's a squirrel coming. I know that because I've just seen a load of snow fall. And that means the squirrel's jumping. Oh, new squirrel. Very annoyed with me. Right, hang on. If we get the squirrel sitting, I can have a sip of my coffee. Okay, I'm going to be a bit still, just to let it come. Oh, it's coming. No, I'm going to wait. If I wait and it comes and eats, then it will stay for a while. Okay. A portable hide. You know, the squirrels get more freaked out by hides. I find that if they can see me and they know I'm not going to chase them, I think they're more relaxed. Okay, we've got a squirrel. My right foot is getting very numb. Right, I'm going to change. We're ready. I'll sort out the focus, hang on. Oh guys, we've got a problem. We've got a problem. We've got a problem, right. I need to put a new battery in the camera. This is not good, hang on. The batteries don't last long in this cold. But I've got 2 spare, so we've got through one. Okay. Okay, yeah, we're all good. Okay, hopefully that is now working. Yeah, great. So based on what I told you earlier about male and female squirrels, can you guess what gender this squirrel is? Can you work out what gender the squirrel is? So as I said earlier, females are a bit larger, they're a bit more orange, and the males are a bit smaller and they're a bit more blue and grey. So any ideas? Because we've seen a red squirrel, a female red squirrel this morning, and it was quite large, bigger than this one. Yeah, it's a male. Oh, my stomach's rumbling. Okay, I'm gonna have a sip of my coffee. The squirrel's a bit nervous. One tip for when you're observing squirrels, or any wildlife really, when they're comfortable, you can move. Like when they're feeding and they're eating and their head is down, that's a good time to move or to stretch your leg if you need to, or to talk. But if they're up and they're alert and they're looking, just stay still and wait for them to relax and they'll start eating again, and that's when you can move. But when they're looking up and they're alert and they're listening, that's when you stay still and you just watch. For certain species, I don't know if this is a weird thing. Maybe what I do is a load of rubbish. But if an animal, like a fox, I can see is nervous, I'll actually close my eyes, because some animals get intimidated when they can see. Yeah. You see, I'm talking quite loudly. Ooh. Oh, that was too much. There we go. Oh my god, this coffee is so good. Cam asks, I wonder what microphone you use. I'm amazed you say my audio sounds good because I'm very fussy with audio and I think my audio often doesn't sound that good. So I use the Rode Video Mic NTG, and I actually went on a boat in Mexico, and it was crazy. I took my family on this lovely snorkeling trip and it was great up until we had to go back. Hello. What is it? Why are you staring at me? So yeah, I took my family on this canoeing trip. Do you want to listen to the story as well? I say canoeing, I meant snorkeling. Went snorkeling, and on the way back, yeah, it's really interesting. The waves were horrendous. It was literally a thunderstorm, and the boat was hardly going anywhere because of these massive waves, and it took us about an hour to get back. It's dark, it's raining, and my camera fell out of my hands because of the waves. I mean, I'm so pleased and happy it didn't go into the water, but the lens landed onto the bottom of the boat and the lens broke. The microphone was completely sodden wet. I know, it's a horrendous story, little squirrel. Yeah. So the microphone was completely destroyed, basically, as well as the lens. And I got a new one. So I also bought a wireless Bluetooth microphone, which I haven't used yet. And I bought that mostly so when I go to Antarctica, I can have two cameras because Juan's not going, it's just me. So I'm going to have one camera on a wide angle filming what I'm doing, and then I can be flexible with just taking photos, and the microphone will be connected to the other camera, and I can, just move around and get my photos, concentrate on the photos, but still talk. Do you recognise the squirrel, Danny? Yes, I do. This guy's a funny guy. Oh, he's gonna run off with that. You can stay. No. He enjoyed that story, didn't he? He'll be back, I think. I hope so. You know what I should have done? I should have cracked the nuts so that they eat them in front of us, rather than go up with them. Did you have breakfast? No, I didn't. He wanted to show his bum. Yeah, he did a bit. He's young. He's only he was born this year. So I haven't given him a name. He is literally directly above me. There's snow. I mean, I'm surprised it's not getting on the laptop. He's literally eating the hazelnut about 5 meters above me. I'm drinking coffee too, and it's 3 a.m. I had a coffee last night around 6 o'clock at night, which was a bad thing to do. Oh, new squirrel, third squirrel, coming down. Bit upset. Hello, hi. This squirrel always gets so annoyed with me. Always so annoyed. Sometimes it surprises me which squirrels get annoyed, and this one really does surprise me. It's annoying. No, I'm not going to say anymore because it gives spoilers away. Another hazelnut. Okay, let's change camera before it runs off. There we go. Hopefully you saw that. Are you the founder of Squirrel Appreciation Day? No, I'm not. It's a real thing, I promise. I didn't make it up. Makes your snotty nose sound good. Love that. You know what? I'm actually using my laptop microphone. So, does anybody think it's possible? Yeah, it's difficult to know who's who because they look so different from summer to winter. So if you remember Buddy, I've got like 4 photos of him in the calendar. I went to the Squirrel Forest a few weeks ago. I couldn't recognise him, but he just came down. He knows me, he recognised me, and yeah, he was very happy. Okay, squirrels come back, which is good. Let me move the focal length. And we can... Oh. Oh, that's not a great place to sit. We can't see your face, just your bottom. That means the food on the tray has finished? Something that's very funny is watching squirrels try to work out how to use those box feeders. I have one squirrel in the Squirrel Forest who, he's just hilarious. He just can't work out how they work, and then he finally gets them open, and he forgets how he opened it, and he's biting it. He's like shaking the box. Very funny. Which is your second favourite animal to photograph? Second favourite animal? I'd say eagles. I've been doing a bit of eagle photography with Connie recently. And it's so exciting when you've got different individuals, and it's same with the squirrels. Like, Connie knows some of them for... There's one eagle he's known for 24 years. He knows which partner it's had, or which partners, because I think it first started to be with an older female eagle, and she passed away, so a new female moved into the eagle's territory, and it's very exciting photographing the eagles. I just love that it's actually quiet there. Yeah, that's one of the things I love. We rarely see planes. We occasionally hear a helicopter. Oh, are we going to have some drama? We might have some drama. It's getting brighter and my settings are still a bit high. Let me just change them. No, we're not having drama. We have 2 squirrels. Look, guys. Isn't that lovely? Right, guys, this is perfect. So we've discussed that the one on the right is the male. Who is the one on the left? Oh, she's gone off. Oh, I just said it. Anyway, it's a girl. That, to me, was a great comparison. There she is. There's a lovely stick in the front, that's great. There we go. One thing I really like about you guys is the community spirit in the group chat. People replying to each other, answering each other's questions. Do I miss the Canon 5D? You know what? I don't. I'm so used to the R5 now and comfortable with it that yeah, I'm easy. Red jacket equals Target. My jacket is from Superdry. A few years ago now. Not from Target. Or maybe you mean I'm the target? Why don't you wear a white coat? You know, I want the squirrels to know I'm here. I want them to come if they want to. And if they don't want to, then that's fine. There's always going to be some food available. So, you know, I'm not forcing the squirrels to come down. They can come if they're comfortable. And if they're not comfortable, then they come later when I'm not here. So to me, the jacket doesn't really impact. Yeah. And then sometimes in the forest, like if I'm sat down, the trees are brown, obviously. And if I'm wearing a white jacket, then I'm still a big contrast. So, what shoe size do I have? That's a bit of a weird question. Not going to answer that. What happened to Rue? You'll find out. It's a good story, guys. Don't worry. There is drama coming, but it's alright. What kinds of animals... What are kinds of animals squirrels are connected in the ecosystem? Oh, how are squirrels connected in the ecosystem? Well, squirrel prey. They're food for other animals. So that's one way they're connected. They have their role in seed dispersal, collecting seeds, putting them into the ground, and that's an ecological role. Helps grow new trees, and so they put the pine cones into the ground, and then those seeds then become young saplings. Oh, my feet are getting really cold, guys. I was going to do this for an hour, but you know, I've got 2 squirrels right in front of me. I'm not going to leave right now, so we're good to stay. I'm guessing the question was how long do squirrels live in the wild, or how old do they get? Mark says 3 to 6 years in the wild, but very high morbidity in juveniles. Less than 50% make it to adults. You know what, I read a statistic recently that said that only 20% of kits make it in their first 6 months or something, which is crazy. And it makes sense now why females have to have 2 or 3 litters. I don't know what happened there. They all just freaked out for a moment. Nothing happened. It was a nuthatch, but... Hang on, let me sort out the focus. There we go. Oh, are you serious? You're gonna move just as I sort out the camera? If you stay there, that would be perfect. Because that looks really nice. Do you understand Swedish? No. Apparently we're now that we're residents or we have residency cards, apparently we're allowed to get free lessons. So that would be good. Oh yeah, we were talking about squirrels. Their lifespan. So there's a squirrel called Digit who I was expecting to see this morning, but he's not around. I don't know where he lives because I know he travels to get here, because he might actually still come because he always comes quite late. But Digit is at least 5 years old, but he could be much older than that, because when I met him he was already a big squirrel, and I don't know, he could be older than that. My friend Peter Trimming, his squirrels, I think he has one that's 7 or 8 years old. Derek, I think, is 7 or 8 years old. Anyway, we were talking about the... Hang on, let me zoom out. We've got two now, so I can show you. We were talking about how to identify between females and males. To me, that's quite obvious right there. It's not... This is my own... from my observations, I believe that females, the one on the left is a female, looks far more orange than the one on the right, and the one on the right is a male. However, I have seen very red males and I have seen very blue females. So I think just because I've spent so much time watching the squirrels, I know who's who. Oh look, they can look at each other now whilst they're eating, and they're not going to get upset because they're a metre apart. Oh, this one's having a good lick of the fingers. A finger licking good breakfast, apparently. Oh, missed it with the focus. I keep switching the focus off just in case it starts going a bit random and starts focusing on. But I think if it's like this, I can keep it on autofocus. Drink your coffee, wink. Yes, I will. I might do that now that we've got a squirrel eating. There are lots of birds above me and they've just kicked a load of snow on me and my laptop. Do you know if squirrels are colourblind? I believe they've got very good colour vision. Maybe not as good as ours. They can't distinguish between red and green. I wonder why the extremities stay red. For extra warmth? Oh, I don't know about that. I thought it was just because... Oh, I can hear a third squirrel. I thought it was just because I don't think they're their fur colour would change much between the winter and summer coats in their fingers. Oh, we're having a good look of the fingers. And he stopped. Okay, we'll go back to the girl, because she's sitting quite pretty. Okay, I'm gonna have a sip of my coffee so you can just watch her for a minute. Finished my coffee. Okay, I'm going to do a shuffle because of my frozen feet, so I'm sorry, squirrels, in advance. Oh, this is quite amusing. Let me see if I can be quick enough. Almost fell off the feeder with that massive walnut. That's way too big for you, little squirrel. You can try. I don't think you'll carry it very far. Yeah, probably better to eat it there if you can. It'd be good for the video or the live stream. And now you show us your bottom. There's been a few more super chats and I haven't been able to see them, so I will try to catch up on the super chats. Oh, you're really struggling, mister. I think you can do it. Go on. They're not used to walnuts, so this guy doesn't know how to open it. He certainly can't carry it. It's a bit annoying. I'm lower ground than the squirrels, so the angle isn't as great, so you can't see the feet and the bottom. Thank you, Taylor, for the super chat. Do males have the tufty ears? Or both? Yeah, both have tufty ears. This guy's struggling with this walnut. Do the birds ever pick up the stuff that falls when the squirrels eat? Yeah, I mean, I think because I've been so zoomed in on the squirrels, you haven't seen, but there's lots of birds around. Nuthatch, great tit, blue tit, jay. What's wrong, little squirrel? Don't get frostbite. Nah, I won't get frostbite. I've been way colder than this. When you get really cold, you feel it in your heart. And that's when I think it's a bit serious. Especially if I've been sat for hours in the cold. And you stand up and it's almost like your blood is cold. And it hits your heart and you just feel like really lightheaded and dizzy. That's happened to me a couple of times. But I'm okay. It's funny, when I get super chats, it doesn't give me the images, and I'm sure you're sending stickers, and I just get the description of the sticker. Sheba Dog saying, "Good job," while racing his thumbs up. Thank you for the super chat. I'm using a software called eCam Live for this because I need something that I can show my usual camera and me. So I switch between like 2 screens, and one screen is my camera, so still struggling. I wonder when this squirrel started to try and open this nut. There's a blue tit behind. No, it's a great tit. Are squirrels more solitary or more social? They're solitary, but they live with other squirrels. Especially the Squirrel Forest. I think it's a very good habitat for squirrels. And I think there's around 6 living in there, or in the area. So they will live close to each other. Why aren't you focusing? And interestingly, young squirrels, after they leave the dray, siblings will sleep in the same dray. Maybe I thought the squirrel was getting upset with me. Yes, sometimes siblings will sleep together, especially on the coldest days. I mean, they'll have their main dray or their main home, but mostly solitary. I mean, they're not social animals. They do have lots of vocalizations. Oh, he gave up. He gave up. I didn't think he'd give up. Yeah, he gave up. Wow. I thought he would really try to eat that walnut. Or maybe he dropped it. It's weird, he's just disappeared. Can't hear or see him. Oh, he's on the ground. Yeah, he's on the ground. Okay, I think he dropped it. I can't see. Oh, he's literally right in front of me. Oh my god, this is adorable. Hang on. Isn't that cute? Okay, I messed up the focus there. He's right in front of me on a tree. Let me see if I can film him. Nah. There's a lot of branches in front, so I can't film him. I can quickly show you my setup actually. So I've got my camera and lens on a tripod. That's how I'm able to show you the squirrel. And then this is where I'm pointing the camera so you can see the feeding station and the squirrels up there. I don't think you can see though. Okay, let me move this back. My laptop is so cold. I'm surprised it's still working. Call me schools out. Super chat. 20 euros. Thank you so much. Pair character sliding on the floor on the knees saying goal. Maybe that was a sticker. Because I don't know what that means. Can I find the stream on your channel? I usually unlist the live streams because it's an incentive for people to actually join me live and get involved, ask questions. Maybe I'll make it available until the end of the day, and then I'll make it unlisted. Someone's mentioned a battery-powered heated jacket. I want that, but in socks. I want battery-powered heated socks. That's what I want to buy. Okay. What camera are you using? R5? Over 6 minutes, and he gave up trying to open that walnut. Would it be better to crack the walnuts? Yeah, I usually actually crack them a bit, but sometimes if I crack them open and they don't get eaten on the first day, then they dry out and then they're not interested in them. But I mean, they'll eat them eventually, or someone else will, like a jay. Are you using your Canon R5? Yes. Okay. Catching up on the comments. I'm using the 100 to 500 RF lens. Have you ever been able to hand feed a wild squirrel? I probably could, but it's not something I encourage, so I don't try to. I don't like to hand feed any wildlife. To me, this is enough distance. They don't need to come closer to me, so this squirrel is 3 or 4 meters in front of me. Yeah, about 3. That's enough. I don't need it to come closer. Sharon, $20. To Danny and all her friends around the world, I just want to say that this is my first live stream I've ever actually participated in, as I'm working on coming out of my autistic shell. I'm really enjoying myself, thank you. Well, thank you for being here. Yeah, I think the community that I have on YouTube is so friendly and nice. So I'm glad you're here. What happened to Rue? When are you going to post the next video? I'm going to post the next video tomorrow or Tuesday. Let me just see how quickly I can edit it. I did a few hours of editing yesterday, and oh no, that squirrel's leaving. Yeah, I did a few hours of editing yesterday, and I was struggling with motivation, I have to be honest. I've had such a busy week. I've been to the tax office, I've been editing videos, I've been to the Golden Eagle Hide, we've had problems with our car, all sorts of stuff, and I've just not been able to crack on with editing. So I was hoping to get it live today, but I mean, it's 10:40. I could do a solid 5-6 hours of editing and maybe get it up today, but I think it's more likely it'll get up tomorrow, on Monday, or Tuesday if I'm really slow. I can show you some of the birds. It seems like, so we had 2 squirrels eating a lot, 3 that ate for maybe 10-15 minutes, that female, and she left like she's not going to come back. And that's the 3 squirrels I was expecting. There's a squirrel called Chimo, who I was hoping to come. He's got a funny eye, but he's fine. He hasn't showed up, so he might show up. And then Digit might come. But Weirona Farm. Squirrels with DC amongst my favourite things. How cold is it? It's minus 14 Celsius. Are the calendars coming back in stock? I don't know. There's a very noisy tractor. I'm not sure if you can hear that. That's annoying. Maybe, but I think not, because we already bought new stock for the new year and that's now been sold out, and my mum is quite tired of shipping out all the calendars. So if I can convince her, then maybe we'll have another stock, basically. We'll have more coming, but I think my mum's a bit fed up of calendars. There's some nice birds around, so I might show you some nuthatches. Let's see if I can do this quickly. Nope, it's already gone. But here, oh, there's too quick for me. Oh, there we go. Carol, thank you so much, Danny. First time watching a live stream, really enjoying it. It's such a treat to see my favourite wild animal on my TV, watching from Norway. Well, I'm glad to have you here. Wow, how so many YouTubers have motivation issues around this time of year. I think a reason for that is that a lot of people watch YouTube around Christmas and November, December. It's just a very good time for creating, or not creating. I think maybe people are more happy around then, and maybe it's good for creating content, but it's definitely good for views. And I think a lot of YouTubers put a lot of work around that time, and then they just get drained out and get burnt out. How long have you been doing wildlife photography? About 14 years now. Yeah, I started quite young. I really hope you do more live streams. Yeah, I enjoy this. I wasn't sure what to expect because I was going to be in the Squirrel Forest, and instead I'm next to the house. You can see the house. There we go, behind me. And we've actually had quite good squirrel activity. It's been easy to film. The only thing I would change is put heat pads in my shoes. And otherwise, I think I can do this again. Maybe not next weekend, but maybe the weekend after. I don't know what's going on. I think they're clearing snow on the road. I think that's what the noise is. So editing, that takes about 8 hours. I'd say more. Some videos take me 10 or 12 hours. If I really know the storyline and the narrative I want to tell, then it goes much quicker. But sometimes I have a lot of footage, and if it's not super beautiful, then it takes me much longer because I'm more picky about picking the best footage. If the footage is really stunning and I've nailed my settings, it's stable and not too shaky, then I find I can edit quite quickly. Also, if I have a good song that fits the footage, and it's got maybe like it's got like a moment which is how to explain it, maybe like a bit low and like doesn't show much movement, and then it picks up, then I find editing quite easy because I can move the footage around to how I want to make the audience feel. So I spend a lot of time picking music. And the thing about the Roo series is in November I spent about 2 weeks just listening to music so I could pick the right songs for the right moments, because you know some songs for the Roo series I wanted to have it feel quite cartoon like. Some moments I want the audience to feel more emotion, or sometimes I want songs to have some uncertainty to them, and then there's a sound, or it feels like there's a resolution, or something's happened. So I spend a lot of time listening to music, and sometimes I even change songs after a while. I feel that it doesn't reflect the feeling I want. So actually editing takes me a long time. It's cold. Printing service to ship the calendars. Now, I have done a lot of research about I'm gonna show you some birds whilst I'm talking. Well, great, there's none right now, but they're around. I've done a lot of research about printing services, And the truth is, I have a few specifications for my calendars. I want recycled paper that's good quality, so I don't want to cause any more deforestation, so I use recycled paper. And a lot of companies actually have a lot of greenwashing, so actually finding a company that is actually using recycled paper is quite tricky. And then I want nice glossy photo paper, and the company that I've used for the past 4 years are really good, and I haven't had any issues with them really. And when I order a lot in bulk, the price is quite good. And I've been researching a lot for a company in Sweden, or at least in Europe, and I can't find a company that makes the calendars for a good price and uses recycled paper. So yeah, that's an issue. I did find a company in Germany that was almost great, but for them to ship the calendars to me in Sweden, it was just ridiculous, because of the weight of the calendars. And also, if I do ship from Europe, then all the costs, and also posting in Sweden is quite expensive. So all the added costs, it ended up being, even if people were paying like customs fees, it ended up being the same cost for people in Europe. So for this year, or the previous year, I ended up posting from the UK. But maybe this year I'll try and do some research to find a company in Sweden that does recycled paper and doesn't, it's not too expensive to ship from to here, and then I manage them and ship them out. So that's, I really, really want to ship them from Europe, but I can't at the moment. I was thinking maybe I could have my mum help me in the UK for calendars that go to UK and USA, Canada, basically the rest of the world that's not Europe, and then I do the Europe ones. But so far I've not found a company that, does recycled paper and has them at good price. So that's why I ship them from UK. I'm sure not everyone has been here from the start, so I'm going to do a little hello. Today is Red Squirrel, or Squirrel Appreciation Day. It's not just specifically for red squirrels, but I am showing you red squirrels live. We've had 3 already. We had 2 females and a male, and I've been live for almost 2 hours now. This is sort of the time where squirrel activity, I'm sure these squirrels that we've seen have gone to bed, so it might be unlikely we're going to see more squirrels. I actually can see one about 15 meters up a tree, but I think it's unlikely we're going to find another squirrel. What is the black box in the tree? That's my internet. That's how I'm doing this live. That's my router. There's an SMS inside. You know what? I'm surprised it survived 2 hours, because it has a very small battery. So at some point we might just not have a live stream and there'll be no internet. Okay. I also want to learn tips about, I try to learn also tips from your lovely videos. Some people have asked me if I can make a video about how I make videos. If that's of interest, let me know. Since there's not going to be more squirrels, I might end this soon. Super chat, Stray Heart. Thank you. Thank you. My toes are getting quite quite cold. Which is your favourite camera lens? For film, I actually find the lens I have, which is the 100 to 500, very useful because of the flexibility of the zoom. But in terms of photography, my favourite lens was the 300mm f2.8 EF lens, but I've been using the 400mm RF lens because as part of my ambassadorship, I'm just stretching my leg, my ambassadorship with Canon, they actually have let me borrow that lens for 2 years, so I've just started using it, and to be honest, 400 is a bit too close for squirrels. I preferred 300. Mark Henderson, don't forget to watch all the UK conservation episodes that Danny is helping us with. Mark is from Red Squirrel Survival Trust that I'm an ambassador for. We've already done 3 films: Lake District, the Highlands and Wales. And in September I went to the Isle of Wight and Brownsea Island to do an episode about red squirrels on small islands, and basically whether if there's a small island, you're going to have a small population of red squirrels or any species. So is that an issue in terms of the genetic flow to have a small population? Like, are you having inbreeding? Is that impacting the population? There's a snowmobile going on the road. I don't know if you can hear it. Apparently you couldn't hear the tractor, which was good. And so that video, it's really annoying actually. We had almost a final edit and the project crashed and corrupted, so I have to start that video again. So I'm going to start that in February. Yeah, there's nothing worse than losing all your work. Actually, no. Losing your photos and videos is worse. So I have all the content, it's on a hard drive, but the actual edited project I lost. E-calendars. Yeah, I might make the calendar available as a downloadable PDF and you can print it locally. I did that last year, but not many people downloaded it. You must be frozen, Danny. Yeah, I am a bit. The issue is staying still. And my feet are in the snow. If you're moving, it's okay. I'm actually sitting on like a yoga mat, so at least I'm not sitting on the snow. I bet you could use a nice cup of cocoa. I want a cup of coffee. I finished my coffee. Yes, very interested about how you do videos. Don't get frostbite live. Can squirrels see colour? Apparently they can't see red or green, someone said earlier. But I think squirrels have quite good colour vision. They are a diurnal species, so they're active during the day. If you think about species like deer, who are crepuscular mostly, so that crepuscular means they're active during sunrise and sunset. Then you've got obviously nocturnal species, which are active at night. Diurnal species generally have good vision, colour vision, whilst species that are more active during the night, they're going to have better contrast vision, so they can see in low light or in the dark. Oh, actually, talking about printing, this year I'm going to release fine art prints. So the company I've found, they have printers in Europe, US, and UK. So it doesn't matter where you buy from, you won't have to pay taxes because, you won't have to pay the customs fee, because if you're in USA, they print in USA, and you'll get it shipped from US. Or if you're in Europe, it gets printed in Europe and shipped from Europe. Joey, what did you study? I studied zoology. For a long time, I thought I was going to go into scientific research and be a biologist, basically, and that didn't happen. Okay. I'm just reading this comment. I accidentally got married by selling. It moved. I accidentally got married by selling a strategy board game on eBay. Lol. That's an interesting story. Okay. I'm just catching up because the chat keeps jumping. It's 8 PM here in Brisbane. How do squirrels cope with the extreme cold temperatures? Always wondered that. A few ways. So in the autumn, squirrels will eat a lot, and they will cache food into the ground. So they will collect food and bury it. And the idea is that they can find it, but most of the food they can't find. But they also gain about 30% of their fat reserves during that time. So they will build up a lot of fat, which helps them survive through the winter. In the winter, they become less. Well, their activity is reduced to about an hour to maybe 4 hours a day. And in the summer, they'll be active, well, from 2 a.m. here until, I've seen squirrels active till 10 p.m. But I'm sure they nap during the day, but they are very active in the summer. So in the winter, their activity is reduced, and they spend a lot of time sleeping. And they also have a thick winter coat, and they'll have ear tufts. So they have a very warm coat that helps them. How else do they survive the winter? Well, they remain active, so they continue eating. They'll return to some of their cached food and eat that. They'll eat pine and spruce cones. I thought I heard a squirrel. Yeah, I think I can hear a squirrel. I'll wait a few minutes, and if it comes, then I'll see if it comes to the feeder. I have seen mosquitoes bothering Danny, and I have the same problem. I had a few questions about mosquitoes in some recent videos. So I use something called a... No, I've forgotten the name. What's it called? No, I don't remember. It's a scent, and you heat it, and it creates an area around you, like a radius, and the mosquitoes don't come to you. Some will come. What's it called? I can't remember it. I also create a blend of eucalyptus oil and olive oil, which I put on my skin, and it's really interesting to watch the mosquitoes attempt to find a spot on your skin that doesn't have the eucalyptus oil. So you'll just see them like going like this, trying to find somewhere, but they won't bite you. Oh yes, can you tell details about the Svalbard upcoming trip? Yeah. The best thing to do is email me, and I can send you information. But I'll just... Oh, we got a thumbs down. Sorry. I don't know what I said to cause that thumbs down. So Svalbard will likely be between the 11th and 17th of May. We will have a sailboat just for us. We will have a polar bear expert who has guided for Frozen Planet and Disney Nature. And the aim is to try and find walruses, polar bears, maybe baby polar bears, because that will be the time for them. And we'll basically just sail in northern Svalbard to the remote places of the Arctic looking for wildlife. I'm pretty sure we'll see polar bears. And the great thing about it is we will go on small Zodiac boats from the sailboat, and we'll be able to ethically and safely get close to polar bears. So that's that. Email me if you want to know more. I should have an itinerary by next week. Where can I buy your hat? It's Mountain Warehouse. It's quite good. I've got horrible hair, but it's got fleece inside, but not at the top, so your head stays warm but doesn't get sweaty. No one wants sweaty head. A sweaty head. Do you use a power bank for charging the R5? No, I've just got lots of batteries. This one's at half now, but there's not much to show you. I thought I heard a squirrel. No, I think I did hear a squirrel. I don't know where it's gone. Okay. Thermocell, yes. The mosquito machine is called the Thermocell. Don't pay attention to the thumbs downers. They're free to their opinion. They can thumbs down. It's fine. Doesn't bother me. I used to get bothered by comments. Now I don't care. I mean, there's so many weird people on the internet. And if they want to troll, they can troll. It's fine. Doesn't bother me. No sound. I think we have sound. Okay, let's do some last few questions, and I will go offline. What happened with the rescue baby squirrel? Oh, I can't spoil anything, but I will just say it was a good story in the end. It was a success. Are there projects offered to you to record certain animal sounds? When I first got the baby squirrel sound from, that was almost 4 years ago now, a lot of people approached me for certain squirrel sounds, so I started to create like a library of different sounds. But recently no one's really been asking for squirrel sounds, so I haven't been getting more. Is Rue okay? Yes, Rue is okay. Are you able to stay in Sweden now? Yes, I have a residency or part-time residency, so I have to stay here for half the time, basically. So they've given us a 2-year residency, and I have to spend at least a year in Sweden. The problem with mosquitoes isn't just that they bite, it's that they drive you nuts. Yeah. The sound of mosquitoes is very annoying. Hearing you fine in Japanland. I like Japanland. I hope to go one day. Have you managed to buy the squirrel woods yet? No, but I'm hoping in just a few weeks that will happen. I'm just working out how to do it because firstly I need someone to evaluate the land and basically value the trees, because some of the trees are too big for the mill to be cut, so that means that they're less valuable. Strange. The bigger the tree, the worse it is, apparently, because they can't cut it with the machines. It would have to be hand cut. I can see a squirrel quite far. So that's one thing. The next thing is some of the area I want to keep. How do I say this? I want to have a different project. Because of that, I think it's best that I get the valuation of the value of that project that I want to do. Oh, squirrel literally jumped from nowhere, and I don't know where it's gone. So with that, I need to. Sorry, I'm quite distracted trying to get the squirrel on shot. Oh no, it's run off. I think it came down to cash. It might come back. Yeah, so I just want to get that area of land valued so that I can buy that myself. And then I think I'm just trying to work out the best way to do it, because I don't want anyone to feel like I'm not doing it in the most how do I say this? Like, I don't want anyone to feel like I'm getting people to buy the forest for me. So I think the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to buy the land and I'm going to get the trees valued so that people, when I crowdfund, people are buying the trees rather than the land. So they are saving the habitat for the squirrels. But something else I need to work out is when I die, what's going to happen to that land? Because obviously the point of it is that I'm buying it, or we're buying it together for the squirrels. I wish I could, once it's finalised, I could give them the paperwork and say, this is yours, squirrels. You're in charge of the forest now. So I need to create either a fund or charity so that forest will always remain there. And in the future, I want to do a lot of reforestry and rewilding, because there are patches of woodland and I want to connect them so that it increases basically the habitat for animals, because squirrels can cross, other wildlife can cross. I want to plant a wild meadow and encourage wildflowers to grow, because this field behind us has thousands of wildflowers, and I don't know why, but in the middle of the summer a tractor came and destroyed all of it, and I don't know why. They didn't use the field for anything, they just cut all the flowers. And everyone in Sweden seems to cut their grass so short. And I like to have a wild garden. I want bees, I want butterflies. And I think maybe there's some gossip within the village that we don't take care of our garden. But that's how I want it. And this spring I planted some wildflowers, and a part of me wants to get rid of all the grass this spring and plant more wildflowers, because the grass is so dominant over the wildflowers. So yeah. How big is the squirrel forest? Tricky thing to say, because the land, the squirrel forest is actually only a small section on the land, and the squirrel forest is about an acre. The rest of the land has been deforested for maybe 20 years. So there are some areas with very young saplings that have naturally regenerated, and some of it is just like marsh almost. So very low quality habitat for any wildlife. It's very... There's a woodpecker somewhere, very close to me. It's very wet. Trees don't grow. Wildflowers don't really grow. So yeah, I'm starting to shiver a little bit. Maybe start a tree nursery. You know, I did collect some pine cones, and this was last year. And after being in the house for a few days, they open up and release loads of seeds. So I think it would be quite easy to just grow trees that I will plant. Okay, let me catch up. Talk to the owner of the field. The issue is, I think they did have crops on this field at some point. So I don't know who owns that. Okay. Oh, UK Squirrel called. Hi guys. Happy Red Squirrel Appreciation Day. I'm getting pretty cold, and I don't think there's going to be a squirrel. Would you consider reforestation? Yeah. 4 a.m. in the US. I need to sleep. Yeah, go sleep. Okay, I'm shivering now. I'm just catching up on comments, seeing if there's any more questions. I'm having a real shiver now. Okay guys, I think that's it. We don't have squirrels. I'm shivering. I finished my coffee. Yeah, go get warm. Yeah, I will. I think I'm just going to switch off, take my laptop in, and then I'll collect the rest of the stuff in about 10 minutes. Because I know as soon as I get up, I'm going to get really cold, and I just need to get in the warmth. When you're sitting, you kind of freeze, and you just get used to it. But as soon as you stand up and start moving, it's like all the cold blood moves around and you get really cold. Thanks Danny, take a warm bath. I don't have a bath, I really want a bath. Lots of comments coming in saying thank you so much for joining, thank you for the super chats. The super chats I'm just going to get donated to Red Squirrel Survival Trust, so it takes a couple of hours, but I'll see how much you guys sent for super chats, and I'll just donate that to Red Squirrel Survival Trust. So thank you for all those donations. Thanks Mark for being here to answer any questions. Juan's been helping me with next week's video, which is about the freezing temperatures, and if we can get that finished and edited for, say, Saturday, I could do this again on Sunday next week. So keep an eye out. I might do another super chat. I would do another live stream. The cold's getting to my brain, guys. I can feel my lips are all numb. You can see my nose is red. Thank you everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Go and see some squirrels today. And let's meet up maybe next weekend. I'll let you know maybe on the Friday or Saturday if I do another live stream. Yeah, brain freeze, literally, that's what I've got. Okay guys, I'm going to end this. stay warm. Have a good Sunday. If you're in America, sleep well. Thank you for the super chat, Patrick. There was another one from Hannah. Those will be donated to Red Squirrel Survival Trust. Okay, guys, I'm really cold, so I'm going to end this. Thanks, everyone. Bye. Bye, bye, bye.